All right, here we go. All
There
right,
you go.
girl, let's get this thing started. Purple and gold skies, as always. Welcome back to Laker Land, episode 3. We in the building, man. I'm your host, Seven Mitchell, and we got a lot to talk about. My God, got a special guest joining us, returning back to the platform. We got the big homie Dan, the Lakers fan, joining us today. We got a lot to break down. Dan, what's up, brother?
How you doing, man? Just slept in today, man. Wasn't feeling good about the Lakers, man. It's tough. It's tough.
Nasty work that we witnessed last night, man. We gonna get into it, but I had to bring my brother on to the show with me because we have so much to break down when it comes to this team that we got love for called the Los Angeles Lakers. Shout out to Lakers Nation, big up to Laker Land, shout out to the NBA community as a whole. We doing our thing, man. This is episode 3 of the Laker Land podcast. So you guys make sure that if you are watching the stream on our YouTube channel, make sure that you guys subscribe, smash that like button for us as we're trying to grow that platform. We're exclusively streaming here on our playback room. So if you guys enjoy Laker watch parties, all the things that we got, as well as the podcast, make sure that y'all come on over to our Laker Land room on playback.tv. That's playback.tv/Lakerland, man. So I'm loving this platform, Dan. I don't know about you. I'm still trying to get, familiar with playback so I can, build the platform and build the brand here. But I'm loving the access and what we have to offer. What about you?
Yeah, man. This is honestly, I'll take playback over YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Right now, just simply because they allow us to do something we have not been able to do as content creators, which is just give us the full flexibility and freedom to move around how we want, and especially watching games with our fans, man. It's absolutely the best.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So everybody pull up, man. It's Laker Land. Make sure y'all also subscribe to my brother Dan, the Lakers fan, on all social media platforms. DTLF doing his thing, consistent. I'm a fan, so y'all already know I'm not gonna tell y'all nothing wrong. But we about to get into this podcast episode number 3. Before I get started, let me give a special shout out to my co-host, my guys, Cole, Hank, my brother BA as well. They may pop up and join us today, but I knew guys had some things to do on this Sunday. So shout out to my team. We will be in full effect, of course, every week here on Laker Land. But let's get started, bro, with last night's embarrassing performance, in my opinion, to the Lakers losing to Golden State. Now, last night, this was prime time, boys and girls. We got LeBron and Steph. So we're thinking that, hey, this is going to be one of those games. Both of these teams are kind of wrestling for position in the Western Conference when we're talking about the play-in tournament. The Lakers going into the game was in the 9th spot. Golden State was right behind them in the 10th spot. And the last time they played, Steph dropped the 40 piece, LeBron dropped the 30 piece. So it just seemed like everything was in order for last night to be a really good game. And after the first quarter, things went left. AD went down, did not return with an eye injury. LeBron did put up a 40 clip, but Steph Curry and the Warriors got it done at crypto last night. Now the Warriors are up 2-1 over the Lakers in the season series. Dan, what was your reaction to the way the Lakers performed last night, bro? First of all, before we even get into the whole AD conversation.
Man, it was devastating because every time the Lakers have had an opportunity to move up in the standings or at least solidify themselves in the West somewhere, they for some reason always come up short, and last night was no exception, man. Now it's unfortunate. Obviously, I'm not going to jump ahead right and talk about Anthony Davis, but it's unfortunate what happened to him and his eye. But there's no excuse for the Lakers to they kind of just mailed it in, man. And honestly, like at times it didn't look like they had a clue what they were doing as far as running offensive schemes. We were jacking up contested 3-point shots coming up, basically just setting screens and shooting threes. The only man that was attacking last night and was actually playing good basketball at one point was LeBron James. But
Yep.
outside of him, I'm just a lot of question marks about the coaching, a lot of question marks about the players. Is their heart in the right place? I don't know, man. It's winding down. Well, we got 14 games left.
That's it. That's it. 14 games left. 8 out of the next 14, 8 out of the last 14 are on the road. The Lakers as a whole have not been a good road team throughout this season. So it's going to get interesting in these next few weeks. You brought up the players themselves. When you look at guys who we would expect to step up when someone like AD or LeBron goes down, namely, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves. What was your thoughts on the way they performed? Because D'Lo played the most minutes. I think last night. I think he played like 40 minutes, but he for the most part kind of struggled towards the second half. And Golden State seems to always have Austin Reeves' number. I don't know what's up with that. But what was your thoughts on the backcourt?
I haven't been happy with the backcourt, especially since Vanderbilt got hurt. Defensively, they are just collapsing, man. And there's nobody there to hold them back as a safety net. Nobody there to really be able to back them up, right? So, and then what's worse is playing LeBron at center when you got Jackson Hayes off the bench. Like, you playing LeBron at center, we're gonna get cooked, And that's the thing. This coach, man, he feels like because we're going up against Golden State, because they have small ball system, you can get away with going small ball. But he's absolutely incorrect. He should go the opposite route and actually exploit them for going small.
Yep.
And that's a huge reason why we get destroyed. Now, we know Austin and D'Lo have looked good offensively at times, but defensively, man, on a nightly basis, they are getting cooked, my friend. And it's gotten to the point where I think 90% of Laker fan base is disgusted by not only the coaching, but the pairing of the backcourt of D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, because they're too flat-footed, man. Both of them get beat. They get burnt defensively.
On defense, yep.
And it's just not a good look. No matter what you can give me offensively, if you can't hold your own on the defensive
it makes no difference.
We're going to get cooked on a nightly basis, bro.
Yep.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but at the same time, it's very eye-opening. And you can see that this coach really lacks in the IQ department, because he really should be mixing it up. I would start D'Angelo Russell, bring Austin off the bench. I think he had his best stint this season when he came off the bench in the month of December, where he was averaging over 21 points a game, shooting over 50% from the field. So I feel like Austin Reeves should come off the bench and maybe start like a Max Christie, somebody who can play defense. Maybe start like even I know it's controversial because Cam isn't the best offensive player, but I will put a defender there next to D'Angelo Russell. It would just help the backcourt tremendously. So
starting Cam, okay. Mm-hmm. Just for the defensive presence, I definitely agree with that, man. When we talk about Coach Darvin Ham, man, like I don't even know where to begin. I swear, I really don't know where to begin. It feels like he's one of those guys that, for whatever reason, definitely does not want to ever stop the game. He keeps all his timeouts in his back pocket. Like, I'll be just wondering, what does this guy be thinking? Like, when we had that play at the end of the game that took 20 minutes for them to finally decide last night, I know that was killing Darvin Ham, because it's like he never wants to take time out in the game. And when we just talk about his decision making, he has been such a liability for this team. It's ridiculous. And people want to always argue with me, man. You got to give him time to grow. He's the new head coach. He took you to the Western Conference Finals last season, and I'm like, man, I'm not going to say that he took us any damn way. You know what I'm saying? Look who we had on our team last year. And this year, he's just getting exposed because there haven't been any improvements. The same complaints we have in this season is the same ones we had last year from Darvin Ham. And to me, the clock is ticking.
It is. And I'll tell you what, with Darvin, if he doesn't make the playoffs this year, he deserves to get canned instantly. Yeah. Like the thing about him is, I realized, man, and I noticed this the game we played versus Milwaukee. He called the right timeouts, and he substituted the defensive players when we were playing defense. And then on the offensive end, he put in the offensive players. So he can actually coach. You know what I'm saying? He can actually coach. Problem with him is, I believe, this is just my theory, he's stubborn. He's super stubborn as a head coach, and he sticks to his own, whatever the metaphor is, whether it's like letting the play. You're not Phil Jackson, fam. You know what I'm saying? So don't let him play through it. You actually got to call a timeout and change the momentum up. And that's what I think a lot of fans get frustrated with, man, because he allows teams to go on 10-0 runs, 15-0 runs before he's even calling the timeout. And so I see somebody say, can him today.
Yeah.
Laker fans are frustrated. They're frustrated and rightfully so, because we haven't seen any improvement as a head coach. When he first got hired, I was like, okay, he's young. He's going to grow with the team. He's going to get better as time progresses, so I'm going to give him time. I saw some things I didn't like year one. Like going small ball, man. Everybody knows playing Anthony Davis at the 5 hasn't been working, right? We won a championship with him at the 4. right? And so to me, it's just nothing but stubbornness. They've given him the bigs. I remember last year he had Mo Bamba, he had Tristan Thompson, who, by the way, there's no
Yeah.
excuse to not play him because he has playoff experience and he's somebody even LeBron was familiar with.
Champion. That's right.
So
That's right.
I think the front office has done the opposite of what they did with Frank Vogel. See, because with Frank Vogel, there was rumors that they didn't allow him to play his lineups and rotations. They stepped in and said, okay, you need a two big man lineup here. With this coach, I believe from the beginning they were hands off. They allowed him to hire his own staff. They allowed him to do whatever he wanted, and these are the results of allowing him to do whatever he wants. I don't think he was ready for the head coaching position. If anything, he might be a much better assistant coach because a lot of the times when it's time to call a timeout or challenge a play, I see him looking to the sidelines. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Right.
should be as a head coach. You
You
should
should be
know.
confident and know what you're doing. That's right. That's a
Yeah,
fact. But where, bro, does this cachet come from? Where does this bravado come from? I understand that he won a championship as part of the staff with Milwaukee, but he, unless I'm forgetting something, hasn't proven anything to be getting the green light or to have an organization like Los Angeles, in my opinion, appeals to him, as much. Like when he talk about the support that he gets from the front office, he gives me the impression that he may actually be here for at least another year or two. Like I don't really know what's up with the front office, the relationship with them and Darvin Ham, but even though he has the right to get time to develop, grow, what have you, every coach I believe have that right. But you also have to be in that certain situation. This is not the right team for that. You are not
exactly.
coaching the type of players for this. Is LeBron James. The window is closing on LBJ. We do not have time for this. And like you said, this stubbornness that he's bringing to the table, D'Angelo Russell, brought it up in the media last week about his relationship and, how it played out last year with him not being able to talk to him and, the relationship he had with other players. And I just don't understand where Darvin Ham gets this bravado from to not have a resume of really consistently winning at this level.
Yeah. Um, you know what it is that I noticed the Lakers front office, they went one route. They try to get experience, right? So they brought in some experienced guys. One of the first guys was Byron Scott. He had great, tremendous experience, obviously, with the New Jersey Nets, with the Charlotte Hornets. He had experience. So they brought him in. Unfortunately, that was like a rebuild era for the Lakers. So there was nothing there.
Nothing.
And then they tried to get a younger coach, right? They went with Luke Walton. Luke Walton was another one of these guys that really didn't put in the work. And they just handed him the reins, and he proved he wasn't a head coach in this league. Now he doesn't have a job as a head coach in this league, right?
Right.
And so that was another one. And then they decided to go with somebody with more experience with Frank Vogel. That was a little bit more of the right selection for the time because he had he was there. He was the one who actually had the most experience from the recent coaches we had hired, right? And it worked out, but only because his assistant staff was really stacked, and that's what I think was the key. They wasn't really coaching that season when we won in 2020 as an individual head coach, but he was coaching with Jason Kidd and some very well known names alongside that staff that really helped him. Not to mention he had some good coaching on the floor with guys like Rondo, LeBron, et cetera, et cetera, right? So now we went with Darvin. We wanted to go with somebody fresh, somebody who can come into his own, I think, as a head coach. At the time, the idea seemed good, right? It seemed good. Like you're getting in a head coach from scratch, doesn't have any sort of agenda with him. He's coming in fresh and he's going to figure things out. But now that you look at it, man, it's really hard to hire a brand new head coach as a Laker because you got to come in here and perform right away. And the pressure is going to be on instantly, right? So
Yep.
That's the problem, man. I just don't think I don't think I'm sorry, Darvin Ham was ready. He just wasn't ready for a head coaching job, and we threw him
I
into the
agree.
fire, and that's how it's looking right now.
I agree 100%, bro. This is Laker Land. We got Dan, the Laker fan, in the building. Seven Mitchell in the building, man. If you guys are on the YouTube channel, make sure y'all smash that like button, subscribe to that platform, or you can come on over to our home base on at playback.tv/Lakerland. Shout out to everybody. Become a member. Big up to my team, Cole, Hank. Big up to you guys. Cole, you already know I think I know you said you had to work. If you're free, you can pop up on this, Cole, as always. But we locked in talking about the Lakers last night's embarrassing performance. before we get into Anthony Davis, just looking ahead, Dan, the Lakers only got 2 games, it looked like, this week.
Right. Yeah. And that could be beneficial for the whole injury that happened to Anthony Davis. So if he needs time, to heal that eye up or whatever. If I'm him though, bro, I'm throwing on the James Worthy goggles. Let's go. Go to work. Go to work.
Now, this is the $1,000,000 question, because this is what played out to me. First of all, why the hell didn't AD return last night? Do you have any intel on the significance of this injury? Because I saw him attempting to play after he initially got hit. He
Right.
got a block. I saw a rebound, and he was still being able to,
Yeah.
execute to a point. But you don't want to play with an eye injury. But do you have any intel on why he couldn't return?
What happened with Anthony Davis was he suffered a corneal abrasion, which is like a cut in the eye, right?
Okay.
So pretty much, I guess I'm no doctor, man, but they was telling me eye drops will fix it. I'm not sure, to be honest. That sounds painful. And again, to me, it's all about the toughness of every player is different. Like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to play doctor, but I will say, so there's been players that played with that injury before, right? They played
Word.
through it. I guess they figured, who knows? Again, we can't gauge his pain levels or whatever, his threshold. But yeah, it was a cut in the eye, in the actual pupil, or something like that. Yeah, the injury just sounded really painful, and I guess he couldn't return to the game. Now, moving forward, will he play through it? I mean, like I said, man, James Worthy threw on goggles. I think he had a similar injury, if not worse. And go to work, man. It's that time of the season.
But through the career of Kentucky, watching AD at Kentucky and New Orleans and these couple years in Los Angeles, I don't believe I've ever seen him play with a face mask before. Has he ever been able to play? Has he ever played with a face mask before? And how much of an adjustment is that going to be to his offensive efficiency? If so, because the Lakers really need him to be on point from now moving forward for these last 14 games. They can't afford for him to have to learn how to readjust because he got a face mask on.
It's do or die. It's do or die. You got to suit up and you got to play the best of your abilities. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, if he does suit up, then props to him. If he doesn't, then again, I can't really judge him on based off of how he feels, right? Because I ain't never had that injury. But what I can say is, good luck to the Lakers, man. Right now we have our backs against the wall, and it's not looking good, regardless of the injury or not, right? Right. And that's unfortunate because we seem to be getting players back. We see Gabe Vincent practicing. He was cleared for non-contact drills. We hear about potentially Vando, who's crucial to this team, coming back by the end of the month. But we might not be in a good standing by the time these guys come back. So
that's a fact. That's a fact. Ace Boogie in the building. Ace Boogie salute. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Got big homie in the building. Cole, what's up, brother?
What's up?
Oh man, you see that game last night? You catch any highlights?
Yes, it was actually pretty ridiculous. My voice is gone. I just came up here
Oh
to
man.
say, I just came up here to say, the reason AD didn't return is because his eye was swollen shut.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Appreciate you, bro. But
No
let
problem.
me ask you this though, because the way they got beat up in the paint last night, the Lakers, wouldn't a one-eye AD at least help? I'm being selfish, but I'm just like, damn, the way they got humiliated inside the post. I'm like, Brad, I would have rather had AD out there with a patch on his damn eye to play the minutes, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm gonna be so serious. Jackson Hayes could have gotten the job done. The problem is that you don't go small ball with the Warriors because you can't beat the Warriors at small ball.
That's what Dad said.
That
That's
was a
what Dad
coaching
said.
issue. We could have won with Jackson Hayes, but instead we played LeBron at the 5, and Torian Prince ended up with 30 minutes again somehow.
Agreed. And to add to what he said, man, it'd be like trying to outswim Michael Phelps in a pool. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat somebody at what they do, like their specialty, right? Going small ball was built by I mean, think about it. The Warriors are the first small ball team to win a championship in the modern NBA. Yep. Before that, what was the other small ball team that tried to win a championship? The Phoenix Suns. And they couldn't do it. So, the league hadn't copied and tried to emulate them. But it's ridiculous how Well, you don't have the MO to go small. We don't have a Draymond Green at the 5. We don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like AD is a 4. And we really got exposed yesterday when AD, as soon as he got hurt, Lakers didn't know what to do, man. They were like fishes out of water.
That's a fact. This is Lakerland Boys and Girl Podcast, episode number 3. We about to get into our TikTok segment of the podcast. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the Lakerland platform, as well as Dan the Laker fan on social media as well. Dan, let me ask you something, man. Let's get into this TikTok segment. I want to keep it with AD. Is Anthony Davis overall better than these big men? I'm going to run some names down, and I'm talking overall game when healthy right now this season. Is AD truly a better skilled player than these guys? Domantas Sabonis.
I'm not. Are we gauging him based off an overall player or just the skill? Because
I'm going by skill overall. I'm not going by record. I know he's winless versus Sabonis in his career. But if I had to bet the rent money personally, I still feel like AD is better than Sabonis. I just don't understand why he's not able to wrap this up into a victory. But I'm just looking at it from a skill set and an overall position.
overall, okay, yeah, I'll take AD overall over Sabonis for sure. I think he lacks in the matchup, but I'll take the player overall. Yeah.
Bam Adebayo. Is
Bam
Anthony Davis better overall than Bam?
Oh, for sure. And I think he proved it in the finals when they went up against each other and he made them non-existent. So for sure.
Joel Embiid.
That's where it starts getting interesting because you know what? I've heard a lot of Laker fans say that they would take Joel Embiid over AD. And you know what? I'm not going to hold him because Joel Embiid might not be as good defensively, but he's more dominant than AD in the paint. Like he has more go-to moves as far as the post, right? Joel Embiid reminds me of an old school center, kind of like Shaq-esque, but with a new school center type skill set. So I actually, you know what? I'll take AD only because he's a champion. But if we're being real, if Joel didn't have the injury history he had, I'd probably take him.
On the defensive end, is Anthony Davis better than these big men? Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yes. And I'll tell you why. Because Giannis, man, he's shifty. He's quicker. He's more athletic. But you know what? Giannis struggles in the perimeter. I agree with my guy right here. And the thing about Giannis is he's more of an off-ball, weak side help defender than AD. You know, as an on-ball, when he's got his mind right, he's one of the better defenders in this league. So I'll take AD over him for sure.
Last but not least in the TikTok segment, when it comes to defense, is Anthony Davis better than this big man, Rudy Gobert?
Ooh, that's a good one. Rudy Gobert has won Defensive Player of the Year
3 times, I believe.
Yeah, too many times. I'm still taking AD, man. I just think he's playing out of position, to be honest with you. I'm taking AD. He's more mobile. He can guard multiple positions. I think Rudy Gobert is probably more of a standstill, in-place defender. Like let's just say, well, if Jokic try to post him up, right? I think Rudy Gobert might have a better chance of contesting his shot, than AD. Because for some reason, AD struggles versus forward and centers. I don't know what it is. Is it the shimmy? Is it the shakes? Is it the post moves? Whatever it is, man, he's not the same defender that when he's guarding American born and raised players. It's different. It's different.
When you saw the graph, the visual, Dan, of him being winless versus Sabonis, and I think he was just as bad versus Jokic overall. Like his record versus those two guys are horrible. Did that surprise you? And does that make Anthony Davis overrated if he's not able to win versus the elite competition? Like, how do you kind of define that?
I think Anthony Davis, I think he's moping. That's what I think. I think he knows he doesn't want to play the 5. He doesn't want to do the dirty work. He wants to come over as a weak side defender, block shots, get rebounds, and then focus on scoring. That's what he wants, which is he thrived in that role in 2020. We went away with it. And he's been struggling at the 5 because at the 5 position, you're the last line of defense. At least you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be, contesting everything, rebounding everything. And there's times when he gets out rebounded, There's times when he forgets to hit the triangle button and jump and try to block the shot.
Yep.
And there's times where it seems like he's lacking that energy, which is required for the five. Now, other guys like Rudy Gobert, they're fives. So when I see those records of AD struggling, what I see there is kind of him throwing a little hissy fit, man. He's not happy in the position, and it shows when we go up against those mismatches, those guys that get him out of the air, get him in foul trouble, those guys that are able to hit him with a couple of pump fakes, drop step, go. Those guys that are fundamentally safe is where he struggles. So again, we're playing him out of position, but there's no excuse. AD getting cooked by these folks.
Lakerland, y'all let us know in the comments section. Is Anthony Davis overrated at this point? What's your thoughts on AD going into the end of the regular season? Y'all let us know in the comments section. This is episode 3 of the Lakerland podcast. 7 Mitchell in the building. We got Dan, the Laker fan. Again, make sure you guys go subscribe and follow my brother Dan, the Lakers fan, on all social media platforms. We're about to get into our next topic on the show. I want to talk about bracket busters. Can the Lakers be a bracket buster? What I mean by that is I'm looking at OKC and Minnesota, bro, who's kind of been at the top of the food chain in the West. I've never felt threatened by them guys if we would have had to meet them in the first round. I felt like the Lakers with LeBron and AD would not allow those young boys to beat them in the first round. So I felt comfortable if we had to match up with them. The Lakers, to me, honestly, though, are in trouble because they could fall out of the top 10 spot before it's all said and done with. But when you look at the Lakers and Golden State, because they are the 9th and the 10th team,
right?
Which team do you feel, if healthy, is the most dangerous going into a playoff?
Well, for sure, I think the Lakers are better built for the playoffs than the Warriors are, as far as how far they can get. Right now, the Warriors have leapfrogged us. They're in the 9th spot.
Yep.
So if the play-in tournament started today, I believe we would face the Warriors, and then winner of that game would go on to face the winner between the Kings and the Mavericks, which the Kings we don't match up very well with, but the Mavericks we can beat them, right? So first of all, to be a bracket buster, you got to get into the playoffs, right? And so and to get into the playoffs, it is going to be tough. You got to win 2 straight game 7s, but hear me out. I slept on this, man. Last night I went to sleep really negative, thinking, man, it's over for the Lakers. But then I thought about it. Well, wait a minute. The Lakers technically won, based off of the play-in tournament when everybody was playing playoff-style basketball. Guys were getting in fights and shit. In the play-in tournament, they were basically able to win, what was it, 7 straight games? 7 straight games, I believe. And then once you
just asked my brother this morning. I said, I'm trying to figure out. Well, we was talking last night during the game. I'm trying to figure out when the last time the Lakers actually had a substantial winning streak going on. And he said it was the IST tournament. That's what he told me.
And I think we won the final. What was it? The final 3 games in a row in the tournament. So
yep.
They could win. They could technically get in the play-in as long as they're in the seeding. They've done it before this year. They won like basically 3 game 7s in a row to win the championship. So can they win 2 game 7s to make it to the playoffs? Sure. Now, once we get into the playoffs, here's the problem. Are we going to be beat up? You see what happened to AD last night. If we're beat up and we have to match up against the Thunder, they might run circles around us, right? So because of that extra energy you're going to exert to just try to get into the play-in, that's the biggest issue for me. All the extra games, extra mileage on LeBron's body, AD now with the injury, you know what I'm saying? That's the hard part. And that's what I was trying to avoid that by moving up. But with 14 games left and guys creating separation on us, looks like the Mavericks are 2 games over us. And it looks like the Kings are like 3 or 4 games over us. So it's not looking likely.
Unbelievable, bro. How close and down the wire this thing is getting. And then when you look at the remaining games, Dan and I talked about at the beginning of the show, the Lakers, 8 of their last 14 games are on the road. They haven't played great on the road overall as it is. And as Dan alluded to, if the Lakers remain in this spot, they're going to have to win 2 games on the road just to get in to the playoffs. So this by no means is going to be an easy hill to climb. But again, we have Sacramento, Dallas, Los Angeles, Golden State. What team, just looking from the outside in, we're Lakers supporters through and through, but just looking from the outside in, which team, Dan, do you feel like is the best team right now that's in this in-season tournament situation right now that really could be a threat moving forward in April and May?
I believe the Lakers, if healthy, it could be them, but that's a big question mark because we've been hurt all year. But if they're healthy, it could be them. If it's not the Lakers, though, if it's not the Lakers, I think the Warriors are done. I don't believe in them at all. I know people say, "Well, that's crazy. They got Steph Curry. They got a chance." Uh, yeah. If you pay attention to the top 8 seeds, most of those are predominantly young teams.
Yep.
Right? You're talking about the Thunder, who's currently you're talking about the Thunder, who's currently at the top place in the West. Look at who their 2 top players are: Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and they're all 25 and under, right? You talk about the Nuggets. The Nuggets, their superstars are under 30. You talk about the Timberwolves and who they're led by, right? And
Yep.
and right now they're in 3rd place. And then you look at the Clippers are the anomaly. They're the older team, right? They're there. And then you got the Pelicans, again, a young team. The Suns are one of the anomalies. But again, most of the top teams, the top 8 teams, I say 6 out of the 8 are younger teams. And so I will say the team that's probably strapped to go the furthest, because usually experience trumps everything in the playoffs, right? I'm looking at a young team that has experience, been in the playoffs, and could actually do some damage. I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings right now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Kings. I think they could actually get to the second round, maybe more, if they get the right matchup in the first round moving forward. But obviously, if the Lakers are healthy, I still got us. I think we can. I think the Lakers, if healthy, they can definitely put some scaring into some teams. Maybe go back to the Western Conference Finals. Who knows? But we're gonna have to avoid the Denver Nuggets because for some reason they have our number, man.
That's really the block that I was about to spin on and ask you what team really concerns you the most going into
Denver.
this playoff run. Is it clearly without debate the Denver Nuggets?
It is the Denver Nuggets because Jokic has eaten Anthony Davis alive. He just destroyed him. And I'll say, as far as Denver goes, I mean, even Jamal Murray, we talk about not having a solution for the Joker. We don't have a solution for Jamal Murray. We don't have a solution for Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon gets off. That's a fact. KCP gets off.
Michael Porter Jr. been sniping that thing on us, man. They're just a really deep team, and they did it the right way. They built through the draft, obviously, with Jamal Murray and Jokic, and then they added the pieces around them. So they've done it the right way. We can't even hate on that. So it's definitely them. They're the team. They're the boogeyman.
You mentioned the Sacramento Kings. They're the defending division champions. They clearly have had outnumbered this season. They've swept the season series versus the Lakers. But, they've had an interesting story, the Kings, because they had 2 guys that didn't make the All-Star team this year, in Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. And, they've played pretty well. I don't know if it's that they playing down to the level of competition or what it is, because they look good against the Lakers and they've been able to get it done versus the Lakers. But I've seen Sacramento play poor throughout this entire season, first and second half, throughout different pockets. And I don't know. I think with me, the case is still out with them. I got to see what they do when it matters the most.
Oh, for sure. But remember, they took Golden State to 7 games last year. So they have a little bit of a playoff experience. So they got Sabonis, obviously De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. Harrison Barnes has been playing solid basketball this season. And they got good size in the paint. They got, obviously, JaVale coming off the bench. They got some decent pieces, not to mention, obviously, their young players like Keegan Murray. So that's just a team that I feel like could catch somebody slipping. That's why I'm saying, out of the teams we mentioned that are in the play-in tournament, if the Lakers get healthy, it's us. We're the scariest, play-in tournament team if we're healthy. But again, that's been such a huge question mark. You just can't pencil us in no more and say, yeah, well, the Lakers are going to be healthy by, late April, and they're going to make a push.
Right. This is Lakerland, boys and girls. Y'all already know the vibes. Episode number 3. Make sure, again, if you guys are on playback, follow us at our playback room. And if you guys are checking out the podcast stream on YouTube, do me a favor and subscribe to the platform as well, as we're growing. About to get into this interview with Dan, the Laker fan. I had to pull my brother up so he can pull up to the platform, man. I've really got a lot of respect, Dan, for you. I know I've had you on my platform before when I was under Players Choice, but I've watched you do your thing. And as a peer, man, you have just been so super consistent. So I had to bring you on this afternoon just to kind of get your story and pretty much how we got here. So once again, bro, I appreciate you pulling up on Lakerland today.
Always a pleasure, man. And thank you for saying that, bro. I'm a fan of your guys as well, man. You also put
Appreciate
in
it.
the work. I see you on Instagram. I see you on YouTube doing your thing, man. So keep it up, man. Keep up the great work.
Likewise, bro. I appreciate you. Let's go back though, Dan. Where are you from? Are you from the Los Angeles area?
Yes, yes. So I grew up in Compton, California, 310. And you know, I was there till about 11 before
Okay.
my mom got married. We moved out to the Inland Empire due to her getting married. And so I'm out here now. I'm in the Inland Empire, but I got family in LA. I got, you know, I constantly visit. My brother's out there from Downey. Just my cousin stayed in Compton. I mean, you know, we still got family down there. So yeah,
Right.
man, it's LA.
What was Compton like growing up for you from a basketball perspective? Did you get into hoops as a fan or as a child, or was it after you left Compton?
No, no, no. So pretty much, my two older brothers, man, shout out to them, Josh and Eddie. That you know, they basically guided me through the whole thing because you know, when you grow up in Compton, man, you got two choices, bro. You're either gonna go the right path or you're gonna go the wrong path. And I lost,
Right.
unfortunately, God rest their soul. I've lost homies from Compton, even last as far as last year in the hood, man. They never got out. So, you know, RIP. But I'll tell you, man, it's tough because growing up in that neighborhood, we had to be inside by a certain hour because every night gunshots, fam.
It's real.
You know,
Yep.
but you're used to it. See, growing up, you don't see it as. I remember when I got visited by some people. They said, "Damn, this place is ghetto." I got offended. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, what are they talking about? This place is beautiful, man. And
Yep.
so when you grow up, you know the neighborhood, everybody knows each other. I'll tell you this: the people were friendly. Everything was outside of the the gang violence. Everything was beautiful to me growing up as a kid, man. I remember going outside. And as far as basketball, my brothers they grew up watching it before me because you know I'm the youngest one. The one next to me is 10 years older than me, and the one
Okay.
after that is a little bit older. So they were into basketball. They were Laker fans. One of them was a Michael Jordan fan before he was a Laker fan, you know, and
Mm.
yeah, so you know, but they grew up watching Magic Johnson late in the '90s, and we all grew up watching Kobe Bryant. We couldn't afford cable, man. So when they would play the away playoff games, we'd go to the local Subway in Gardena just to watch
Dope.
basketball. That's how diehard basketball fans we were. We were right. We it was crazy, bro. It's crazy times growing up, but it's beautiful.
Dedication. Ain't nothing like dedication, man. That's dope. So the Lakers have always been your team. That's pretty much been the household team for the fan.
That's been the household team. That's always been the household team, man. And I was indoctrinated into it as a young child. Man, you can't choose anybody else when your whole family Laker fans. You feel me? So, and then I came in during the Kobe era, so that was the golden years, right? Since he was drafted as a rookie in 96, 97, man. So I got to see the whole growth experience, like everything. And of course, you're going to be engulfed into that, right? I got to see when we acquired Shaquille O'Neal, the whole thing, the whole enchilada, man. So it was a beautiful thing, beautiful time to grow up watching basketball and just sports in the household.
What impact, because I'm in Baltimore, so I'm on the other side of the map, but what impact when you're on the West Coast or from the West Coast, and when you have a guy like Kobe Bryant who has so much of an impact on people's lives, even just as a fan, what impact did Kobe have on you personally, just from a fan?
I'll tell you this, man. My whole family loved Kobe Bryant. Like when he passed, God rest his soul, man. My mom was in tears. You know,
Right.
it's almost like he was a part of the family growing up. You know, we watch a young man grow up and become a man, and I took a lot out of the pages in his book, man. As far as developing a killer mindset and just being the incredible person on and off the court that he was. And my favorite thing about him is he never gave a damn what the haters had to say.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the same way. I'm built similar because, growing up with a single household, you can't really give a damn. You know, some people feel sorry for you. Some people look down on you. Some people try to put you down. But you got to be strong. You got to always keep pushing forward. And Kobe Bryant was the only celebrity I ever looked up to. I never looked up to anybody else. And I still don't, just because of his work ethic and his passion that he had for the
Right.
game. It's almost like he was an extension of how we felt off the court about the Lakers. He would leave his heart and soul on the floor every single game. It didn't matter if it was preseason, postseason, midseason. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't
Like
matter. Didn't
if
matter.
Kobe was still alive in his prime for the in-season tournament, I promise you he'd be going for that thing every single year while other people are making fun of it, right? So,
That's a
uh,
fact. That's a fact. Michael too, I believe. I believe Michael too. I don't
yeah,
believe Michael will want to lose an in season tournament, not at all.
yep.
So that is an interesting point. Let
Mhm.
me ask you this though, Dan. When did it turn the corner for you as far as content creating? Did you get into the content creating game doing sports with the Lakers? Like when did this all come about?
I'm a people's person, man. So I was always talking Lakers throughout my life, and that was something out, an idea that was floated out to me by family members, by my girl, by different people, and it didn't take till I broke my hand at work, and I'm the type of guy I don't like to sit on my hand. I like to do stuff, right? Even when I got free time. So that's how it came about, So in 2016, 2017, I opened the channel up, and at first it was a hobby, but as we connected with the people, obviously they love sharing their basketball knowledge and vice versa. It just became a passion of mine, man. Very exciting, always. And at that time we were rebuilding. So I noticed there were some YouTubers that was talking about the Lakers, guys like D-Lo, we had just drafted, Brandon Ingram, etc. And they were just putting a negative spin on it. And I was like, you know what, man, the Lakers are going to rise again. There's always a silver lining with us, man. History
Right.
repeats itself. So let me put my take on this and show the people that even though we're winning 15, 16 games, there's going to be, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And that's why I decided to make my channel, because there was so much negativity at the time. Trade everybody. People were upset and we wasn't winning. So, there's always a golden standard here in Los Angeles
Yeah.
for the Lakers. So, yeah.
Right. Now, was there anyone in your circle or in your family that did like content created on YouTube and before you, or were you the first one to really get into it?
I was the first one, man. And ironically, I tried reaching out to some people. When you're a smaller channel, it's hard to get certain people on your channel. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
that. Yeah, that's why I'm different, man. I give everybody an opportunity. I don't care what the numbers are looking like, because everybody deserves to be heard, right? And
That's a fact.
I even have a segment called Phone Call Friday, because even if you don't have a channel, I want to hear your voice.
That's right.
So I'm all about the people, man. And I try to give opportunities that weren't given to me when I was, coming into the game. There's a lot of gatekeepers, believe it or not, in this
Yeah.
industry. And they try to make me one of them, but I'm not a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm all up for the community. I never forget where I come from. And we're gonna give back always. Even my clothing line, Court Kings, man, we always doing free shipping, and the profit margins aren't crazy, right? Because we want to give to the community, give them the best quality, the best everything, man, because that's what I'm all about. So, yeah, there was nobody in my family that did content creation, but it's got to start somewhere, right? I try to encourage everybody in my family to do content
Well,
creation.
man, you have clearly set the tone. You got your merchandise in order. You got your brand, your platform. You got the consistency. The fan base. Everybody is backing you. I had we was doing a Lakers show watch party last night, and I was telling people that I was going to have you on the podcast, and I had people all in the comments, man, telling me how much of a fan they were of you and how
That's
long they've been watching you. So, clearly you have been definitely doing your numbers. Has it been fun? Because
yeah,
the Lakers hasn't always been winning, bro. We got to keep it
yeah.
real. So you've been doing this when they were down, when they went up, and now that they here. Has it been fun for you, bro, or has it been more of a job these last few years? How do you look at it?
It's always fun. It's always fun, and even when it feels like there's obviously games where you don't want to go live because you're like, fuck, man, we played like shit today. Like like there's no excuses. But I always kept it real with myself. I'm like, look, if we got to rant and we got to vent, this is the place to do it. And it actually became such a therapeutic thing for me, because even when we lose, man, we could all go into my channel and we could just rant and leave all that negative energy in the room. And when I walk out there with my family, try to be as positive as possible, even if we lose. But in the past, man, when I was younger and I didn't have my channel, I'd be frustrated even the next day.
Right.
I'm going to school pissed off because the
That's
Lakers
right.
lost. You know what I'm saying? So you know how it is, man. When you're a diehard, it's tough. But of course, losing is never easy. But it's been a pleasure, man. To be honest, and like you said, all the people backing me, man. Shout out to Ace Boogie, man. All the regulars, man. Everybody that's always coming out and supporting. You know, as a content creator, bro, it's a special thing when people lend you their ear, you know, and it gives you the confidence to keep going. So it's all about the people, man.
Yeah, man, and you have you create your content for the fans, for the people. It's not just about you talking to these people and just giving them your opinion. You know, your engagement, you know, your panels, like you are very versatile in the way you deliver the product to the people. When we look back at, you know, you creating videos and stuff like that for the Lakers, bro, if you can remember, what was that one video that you made that kind of had you like, okay, shit, I can really do this? And what was there one particular video that may have done well or may have done awful that just made you like, you know what, I need to really lock in and keep doing this? Was it one particular video that stand out to you?
It's a combination, and that's a great question. You asked the best questions that as far as me being on here as a guest, man. You probably have
Appreciate
asked the best questions I've been on somebody's
Appreciate it.
podcast. But let me say, as far as that moment, I do remember the exact moment when I said, "Okay, this is gonna," and it had to do with my girl. So pretty much, it was during D'Angelo Russell's first stint when he snitched in the whole situation with Nick Young.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going into the offseason. We are about to draft Lonzo Ball because I remember he was a crowd favorite. You know, everybody loved him here in LA. UCLA, he was killing. He was looking like the next Jason Kidd, right? So we were going to draft Lonzo Ball. And I remember D'Angelo Russell liking a tweet from a fan that said, the Lakers are stupid if they draft another point guard when they have their future point guard. He was immature. He liked the tweet and it went kind of viral. And I was like, okay. I remember doing a live stream and saying, all right, guys, I think D'Angelo Russell just signed his trade certificate because he's about to get traded. I called it a week before it happened, fam. And a lot of fans came after me. They called me a hater. They told me to kill myself. They were saying, oh, you know, all these little fanboys. They were saying, you're not a real. I'm like, I like D'Angelo Russell, but I got to say the facts, bro. And I've always been a truth teller in my channel, right?
But they were hating when you first dropped it. This was before it actually happened, though.
Before he got traded, they were telling me I don't know shit, and why do I talk basketball and this, and that. And I remember I got so much hate, fam, that I actually considered deleting the video. I asked my girl, I was like, listen, that was the first time I got hate. It was None But Love up until then. I had at the time I had like 2K subs. None But Love, and then I dropped that one, and the fanboys came after. That was my first taste of like fanboys. It was around again. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they came after me heavy, bro. They came after my life. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm tough skinned, but some of this shit
the internet dangerous, bro. The internet don't play, bro.
Yeah, and so I asked my girl, what do you think? What do you think? I asked my girl, should I delete it or should I keep it? Because a part of me wants to keep it because I know something's probably gonna happen. And she told me the realest shit ever, man. She was like, you gotta stay true to yourself. You're not gonna be able to appease everybody. And this is when you know when you got a real one in your corner, right? Once she told me that, I was like, you're absolutely freaking right. Fuck it. I'm leaving the video. Week later, breaking news, D'Angelo Russell traded, you know, to the Brooklyn Nets for a first round pick and this and that. And then they got, you know, everybody flooded that same video, man, apologizing to me. Some people were telling people to apologize to me. It was crazy.
Yeah, they got to. Like, you got to stand on business.
That's that was like my moment of like, okay, you know what the fuck you're talking about. Fuck the haters, man. And just keep doing what you do. That was my moment right there. From that moment on, man, I don't care if they talk about me, if they, you know, say threaten my life. It didn't matter. I was going to speak my mind and always give the people really what they want to hear.
Oh, man. That is a dope story, bro. And I appreciate you sharing that because, you know, doing interviews, I always want to pull something, you know, to give to up and coming content creators. Like, you know, Dan, let y'all guys know there will become a time. No matter how cool you are, no matter how good of a content creator you are, there's going to come a time where you're going to create a video that's going to have the whole world against you. You just got to stand on your business, know what you're talking about, and don't let it rattle you. You know, find your common ground and keep it moving. Because if Dan would have let that stop him, look what you have built and created. None of that would have happened if you would have stopped back in the day, bro. So again, shout out to you for, you know, being a true example of not quitting and keeping it pushing. I do want to fast forward though, because I know you had a more recent, more serious situation with your platform, with the monetization on your channel getting taken away. And, you know, you grinded and fought to get that back, but kind of give us the backstory of what happened to get your channel demonetized, and how that impacted you. You don't have to go personal into your personal life, but just how did that impact you, and did that make you want to stop creating content? Like, what space did that shit put you in when it initially went down?
So I'm getting excited for the season, man. For the season, is about to start. It's right before October. I think it was late September when I get an email that says you've been demonetized for and they didn't give me a reason. So I reach out to them and I was like, yo, what the fuck, bro? This is like prime time for me, right? This is
That's
like when
right.
I started really grinding right before October, and I was excited, man, and that was so devastating because they didn't give me a reason. Later on, I found out that they said reused content. So pretty much, I couldn't use none of the clips I was using from ESPN. What I wanted to do was, and my channel was blowing up at the time. I wanted to bring clips from ESPN from different platforms and just give them like a little 10-second, 15-second thing so that they could, they don't have to watch the whole segment on ESPN. They know exactly what the news is or whatever.
That's right.
And I guess, nobody explained to me that you could do it. I see other channels doing it and everybody doing it. But all of a sudden they came down with the hammer. They don't give you a warning. They don't give you a copyright strike. I never had nothing like that. Just absolute demonetization. And I reached out to everybody, man, try to appeal it and everything. And letting them know my channel is 100% original. It just had little side segments. I can remove those if y'all want. No, you gotta go through your 90 days of not making a single cent. You're talking about somebody like me who had 20, 23, 22,000 subs at the time, who quit his job because I was making enough revenue already. I had enough sponsorships to work from home full time, and they take away everything just like this
overnight. Yep.
So now
it's a nightmare.
Yep, it's a nightmare scenario. So now I'm sitting there thinking, I got two options: either go back to work, start from scratch, and forget about my channel because, fuck them. They weren't able to give me the benefit of the doubt when I've always followed the rules and everything.
That's right.
Or I'm gonna get a loan, pay the bills, and keep grinding for free, fam, for free. 3 months of free work. So that's what I did. I got a loan. I kept grinding. Again, Mamba mentality, man. When shit hits the wall, that's when you gotta. And I kept grinding. I opened up the clothing line. I came back with a vengeance. Now we got Playback TV. We got extra sponsorships and all that. We come back. And guess what? When I came back, it wasn't the same because the monetization wasn't the same. They took away all my ad revenue. So now I got to earn the ads back, right? So now I'm getting paid like a quarter of what I used to get paid. But I got the sponsorships. I got this channel going, on Playback TV. I got, obviously, shout out to Court Kings. My team has been phenomenal. Shout out to Ace Boogie. All the fans have been phenomenal, man. And it's gotten to the point where I can get by again. I'm getting by right now. But we're going to build back up to where we were at and beyond. So that's the goal. And the bottom line is when you have a dream, man, no matter what hits you, they'll hit you with everything, fam. You like I said, there's gatekeepers. I don't know who snitched on me or what, but there's gatekeepers, man. When they see you getting too big or you get numbers similar to them, they're going to try to take you down, right? I was getting numbers comparable to people that were on networks. I won't mention no names, but they were on networks. And I was getting, between 7,000 to 10,000 views. And their videos was getting between 3 to 5 per video at the time. So of course they're gonna try to take me down, man. I'm not a part of the go along get along game. So what I'm saying, because I'm for the community, I'm for the people. They don't like that, man. And so they did what they had to do, and I'm still here, right? So we don't keep it pushing, man.
Nothing they can do to rattle, man. And I think you going through this, even though you're still rebuilding, your platform, your brand is looking better than ever. The respect factor that you've gained is priceless. Anybody that knows this story, anybody that has been watching and or just been a fan of yours and went through that journey with you, I'm pretty sure everybody has gained another level of respect. And it was interesting to me. I knew it was real when I start to see, and not to get into your business specifically, but when I start to see supporters find other ways to try to monetarily support you when they could with different other platforms, because they could have just left it alone. And, like you said, you could have opted to quit, but you targeted to go put out this free work for the next 90 days. But I still saw fans trying to make it their due diligence, to keep the platform afloat. So you got some real ones behind you.
Yeah.
And this is why you winning, bro. It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
The people have been second to them, and without their support, we really ain't shit, bro. Because we need everybody to support and lend their ear to what we have to say. Because if you're talking, if your words are falling on deaf ears, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So, um, it's all about the people, man. And again, I wouldn't be here today if they didn't keep supporting, man. They encouraged me throughout it. My family, my girl, everybody, bro. Because I can't take credit for it. Obviously, the hard work we put in, we don't take credit for that. But everything else is you got to have a good supporting cast when you do something like
That's a fact.
full time, because you know what I'm saying, I had good jobs. I had two good jobs. I was making great money, and you kind of have to take that leap of faith to do it full time. If something breaks, I'm there. I'm the one giving the people the news as soon as it happens. And so in order to do that, you got to dedicate yourself to that craft full time and throw yourself into it, just like Kobe Bryant would, just like anybody who's been great at anything would. You completely throw yourself into the craft, and you let the rest take care of itself, right? So that's what I would advise anybody watching, man, is that if you got a dream, you pursue it to no avail, meaning you'd never give up no matter what, whether you're making money off of it or you're not making money in the beginning. If it's your dream, you pursue that shit and you don't let it go. You chase the thing like a pot of gold, right? You got to
That's right.
chase it till you
That's
find
right.
it. I still haven't found it. I still haven't found where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like my vision to where I want to be is a lot further that way. So I'm saying, we're still fighting for the dream every day, bro. And I know you and this mutual respect to
Same
you.
fight. Same fight.
We having the same fight, and you're doing your thing. So definitely subscribe to my guy right here on Lakerland. Get
Appreciate
his
it.
up, drop comments, because all of that involvement from the community
It
will help
matters.
will help him give you guys way better content. I promise. I promise.
That's a
If you
fact.
guys love this man's content, give him the support he needs in order for him to continue to produce that content.
Absolutely. 100% appreciate you guys. So for the people, Hank, let them know what type of content and if what they can be looking forward to when it comes to the DTLF platform in the playoffs and even in the off season. Do you create content in the off season? What can the people be expecting in 2024 from your brand?
So one thing about me is that I've as far as I've been watching basketball for 28 years, right? 28 years. So I know what I'm talking about as far as basketball. Um, we're looking to expand. I'm looking to expand my brand. I definitely want to cover a little bit of baseball this year. See what the
Okay.
Dodgers doing over here, man. Definitely want to do that. Definitely going to cover some Rams football. That's my team over here, LA Rams. Shout out to LA Rams. Um, and most importantly, man, just continue to connect with the communities, man. I'm all into entertainment. It's not just about the Lakers. I will be covering playoffs basketball, period, right?
Okay.
Whether the Lakers are in it or not, we still covering playoff basketball because we love hoops on this side. And me and you both know that it's not the same as the Lakers don't make it. However, it's still exciting to root against teams you dislike. For
That's
example,
right.
I'll be rooting for the Clippers to get eliminated early, just to point and laugh at them. That's number one.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for the Boston Celtics to hopefully fall short.
Of
Yeah,
course. Of
yeah.
course. Absolutely.
I'll be rooting against teams like that. So it's always fun to root no matter what. And I got the people covered all year long, including the summer, man, talking about rumors, breaking news. We're going to be talking about everything, man. 365 days a year. So definitely tap in, man.
Dope. Y'all definitely make sure y'all tap in
By the way, we got to
DTLF.
get you over as a guest on my channel because
Anytime.
because you know what, man, you're also great at what you do, and I'd love to have you potentially, if you're available this week or next week, as a guest on Around the League. So
Let's get
you're
into it.
invited, bro.
Let's get to it.
I'm
I'm in
sending
for
that
sure.
invitation. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We definitely gonna get into it. I appreciate that. We about to get up out of here. We got one last segment before we go here on Lakerland. Again, shout out to all the supporters. Again, make sure you guys follow our playback room, playback.tv/Lakerland. We do the live Lakerland podcast every weekend. Shout out again to my guys, Cole, BA, and Hank. We locked in every weekend. We also do little watch parties for all the Laker games. So if you guys are on playback, make sure y'all follow this room. Make sure y'all follow Dan, the Laker fan room, because I know he definitely do his watch parties and other content on playback as well. So show support. I want to get into our facts or cap segment real quick before we get up out of here, Dan. I got a couple comments from social media. Want to get your thoughts on it. You let me know if it's facts or if it's cap to
Okay.
you. All right. Levante 611 from my YouTube channel. He says OKC wins again and goes back to number one. The Thunder are the best team in the Western Conference. Is that facts or cap to you?
Major
Or the
cap, major
major
cap.
cap?
Yeah, because you don't win a championship in the regular season. I mean, it's great. It's great that they're number one seed. They're an up and coming team, but they haven't proven shit until they get to the playoffs. Once they get there,
Yeah.
then we can have that conversation.
Yeah, it to me it's been a Cinderella story, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, and I'm not saying that in the context of Shea is not for real or he's not the real deal. I believe he is definitely him, and Chet I think has a lot of promise. But to me, I'm so old school. You have to prove this thing to me. The game is not won from November to March or from November to April. You
Right.
know, and like Hank said, I mean, like Dan said, man, it's the playoffs is a whole totally different ball game. And some teams, some players, that's where we start to measure them and stuff like that. So OKC would really have to prove to me in more than one season, I hate to say it, at the top for me to feel like they are like the real deal in the West. I think this has just been a Cinderella season for them and Minnesota.
Absolutely. And you gotta play. You gotta pay your dues in the playoffs. Meaning, you've been in the playoffs several times. You lost a couple times before they finally take that leap. You always
Yep.
see that every year in the playoffs. And Minnesota actually, at least they made the playoffs last year. And what I'm saying, they're looking to get a little further, but we'll see.
Yep. Because Denver did it. And Denver finally got over the hump. But Denver had to take their little licks.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. It's a learning experience.
Mm-hmm. Last one for our Facts or Cap segment. Hoops are us. He says 8 of the last 14 games. We spoke on this. 8 of the last 14 games for the Lakers are on the road. That, along with injuries, the Lakers will miss the entire playoffs. Facts or Cap?
You know what, man? As a positive, optimist person that I am, I'm gonna say
We're lying
that's.
to ourselves. We have to
I'm,
lie to
I'm gonna say
ourselves.
that's
We
cap.
have to.
Only because I'm an optimist. But if I take off my Laker cap really quick, and I could just speak to the people here, it might be facts. It might be facts because it's looking that way. It's looking like, imagine we get healthy, but we already, at the 10th seed, and now we got to go on the road for 2 games to win 2 Game 7 type scenarios. We know the officials they're already against us. They've proven that all season long. We saw what happened last night. So yeah, LeBron is amazing, man. But Father Time is undefeated, and Father Time is coming. It's knocking. I see him slowing down. I see him having great games, but he's picking and choosing what great games he's having. Right?
He has
Uh,
to. Yep.
yeah. So it's different now. Some people might see it, some don't. It's tough, man. But hopefully we're wrong, and hopefully we make the playoffs and make a run.
Yeah,
But it's
it's gonna be. Whew, I'm
wishful
telling you,
thinking.
wishful
Yeah.
thinking to the max. I got my eye on the prize, but there really, honestly, realistically, is not a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how you spin it, these next 14 games are going to be so pivotal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this affects LeBron James moving
Exactly.
forward. So definitely a lot to talk about. I promise you guys to have Dan back on to Lakerland before the playoffs is out, before the season is out. We're going to chop it up again. Dan, brother, I appreciate you so much for coming
Man,
through to the podcast this week,
thank you for
brother.
having me, brother. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure, man. Anytime.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man. Make sure, again, y'all follow Dan, the Lakers fan, everywhere on social media, including here on playback.tv. Salute to you guys. I'm Seven Mitchell with Lakerland. This is the episode 3 of the podcast. Again, shout out to my team. Big up to my guys, Cole, BA, Hank. Shout out to them as well. We'll catch you guys throughout the week, all on social media. So make sure y'all follow us on Lakerland. Podcast edition, episode 4 next week. Make sure y'all join us and stay safe. We out of here, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Dan, appreciate you, bro.
No problem, man. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cook this interview out because I want to put the interview out individually. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit and cook that
How
up.
does
And I'm
how
gonna
does
go ahead
that work? And do you screen record? What do you do? Like I'm not that familiar with playback. Like how does that work? How do you edit stuff and put it in into pieces and stuff?
what I do is I just basically, you can download the the video once it's done from playback, but I also double stream. So I'm streaming on YouTube at the same time as playback. And I
I
can
see.
just save the video from my YouTube and then edit it that way.
Oh, so you're multi-streaming right now? You're multitask?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know. Okay.
I put in my I forgot what that little thing is called, that little some type of pin or something you got to put in
Yeah.
for your destination so you can simulcast. So that's pretty much what I'll be doing. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you for letting me know, bro. You putting me onto some game because
Oh yeah, any tips, any
yeah,
editing tips or anything you need, bro, just hit me day or night, bro. This is what I do.
appreciate
So
that, man.
I got
Likewise,
you.
bro. Likewise. Let me know if you need anything, man. And we got to get you on around the league, bro, because you definitely know your stuff, man.
Set the
For
schedule
sure.
up, bro, and just let me know. I'll let you know exactly what my work days and like, and we'll match it up and we'll get it done.
All right, man. Shout out to you,
All right.
brother. Thank you so
All right,
much.
same to you, bro. Be safe. I holla.
You too. Peace.
Peace.